Okay, so yeah, as you heard, my name is Christine Bardwell, and I am the a global strategy lead at Oracle for Oracle CX, which, if you're not familiar with it, it stands for customer experience. So, what do you call it when a parcel arrives in days, a taxi arrives in minutes, and you can get an answer to any of your questions in milliseconds? So we call this the experience economy, and it's really changing the way that we think about CX today. So it really starts with fully changing the mindset that you have about your consumer. The consumer is really the innovator today. They're the ones that are using technology. They are fluent with technology today. Not just your customers, but also your employees too. And they're really making you have to change the way you think. They're making you change your business. And it's happening very, very fast. It's happening at a pace that most of us can't actually keep up with at all. So this is actually my inbox. You can see how much of a shopaholic I am. I apologize for that. But there is a good reason for me showing you this today. I'm shopping for some curtains at the moment. I've just bought a new house, which I'm doing up. So I've just gone shopping, bought some lovely curtains. So I went online, ordered some curtains. They're amazing. I'm very excited. They'll be arriving very soon. It's a great purchase. I had a great experience. I got an email into my inbox, curtains are us. Yes, your curtains are coming. Well done for your purchase. It was amazing. However, why is it that since then, every time I go online, I am seeing these adverts for curtains? I've just purchased curtains. How many of you are familiar? There's quite a few of you going, yeah, I know what this is. We've seen this before. Why is it that this brand is still hitting me with curtains? I can understand other brands, they may not know I've made the purchase, but this actual brand knows that I've purchased from them, and yet they are still targeting curtains at me. So what is this about? Why is it that when we shop online or when we interact with any brand, they're not picking up on our signals? They're not understanding our cues? Why is it that every time I shop online, I'm being retargeted with things that are irrelevant to me? Why is it that when I phone up a call center, they don't understand that I'm a very important customer because I spend a whole ton of money, as you can see here, with them? I'm a VIP, treat me as such. Why is it that when I go into a store, I know more about the products that I'm talking to them about than their salespeople do? Everyone familiar with this? This is a common problem, isn't it? And actually, in the experience economy, we just don't tolerate that. The companies who are thriving in the experience economy today are those that understand that experience is more of a differentiator today than product or the service that you're selling. Experience is so much more important than that today. And it's because journeys are not predictable. They are not linear. Customers are going to move around. They're going to do what they want to do. And that customer, whoever it is to your business, they are the innovator. They are the ones that you have to follow. And things are happening very fast, as I've said. And this perspective really resonates with every customer that we speak to. And I want to share some of those with you as well today. But first of all, it's very important to know why is this important? Why is the experience economy important? 1/3 of customers are going to walk away if they have a bad experience with your brand. That's a huge number. Loyal customers today are your brand differentiator. You must be focusing on your customers. Those 20% of loyal customers are bringing you 80% of your profits. That's where you need to focus your attention to survive today in business. And what it all comes down to really is data. Too often businesses are not enabling their staff to deal with customers and to resolve the issues, to get to the bottom of whatever's required to make it a really, really good customer experience. I think the experience economy really requires businesses to empower whoever it is that gets to the customer first. Don't pass them around. Don't move them around between call centres. Don't move them between physical locations. Don't move them from the social media platform that they're talking to you on. If you're able to solve the issue straight away with whoever gets to the customer first, then you're already starting to win in the experience economy. But I want to take a slightly deeper look into this as well, see what's driving it. So the first thing is that there's this shift towards micro moments. And what I mean by micro moments, it's that point in time. We're all consumers, we're all users of devices. It's when we have a thought and we think, oh, I need to buy something, or I need to answer a question, or I want to know something in particular, and then I pick up my device. That there is a micro moment. It's an intent-filled moment. I'm going to make a purchase. I'm going to interact with a brand there and then. How can brands today make sure that they are targeting the customer, the employee, whoever it may be, in those very intent-filled micro moments? Because there's a huge amount of value in those. And the way that consumers are interacting is changing, drastically as well. Those micro moments don't just happen on laptops and on your mobile phone anymore. I'm sure most of you are familiar with what this is, although some children look at it and go, I don't know what that is. It took just 30 years for this device to reach mass market in the UK. I say just, 30 years is a long time, especially when you then compare it to this device here. It's not this specific device, but voice devices overall. They've taken just 3 years to reach the same critical mass in the market. Nearly a quarter of homes in the UK now have voice-enabled devices. It's crazy, I know. It's happening really, really fast. Broadband also reached critical mass within just 3 years. So things are moving very, very quickly. And the way that we talk to these devices, I don't know if you remember back in the early days of talking to voice-automated devices, you had to speak a bit like this, or put on a very specific accent for it to understand you. You don't expect to do that anymore. Consumers are going to speak to the devices with their own accent, using the own words that they're words that are natural to them. And you're expected to respond. Of course you should respond. They're speaking to you in the way that is most natural to them. And it is completely across devices as well. And this voice-driven search and discovery, it's not the future, my friends. It's here, it's now. We've already started to see that Amazon is taking away a fair amount of Google share from Google in terms of search. It's happening already. More and more consumers are using voice as a tool to get the information and the products that they want today. And this is the way that your consumers and your employees want to engage today as well. The next one is a shift to commerce everywhere. And what I mean by that is people want to be able to purchase wherever, whenever, and as easily as possible. And it's not just B2C buyers, it's B2B buyers as well. We all expect the same experience no matter how or where we're shopping or what we're shopping for. So there's a real expectation that the buying experience is going to be digitized. So what does, other than the fact that these are both our customers at Oracle, what does Airborne, which is an aeronautical company, they created space parts, their engineers had some space stations and have landed on, they've been part of the Apollo missions, things like that. Very, very cool company. What do they have in common with Laura Ashley, which is a brand I'm sure most of you here are familiar with? I don't expect any of you to know the answer. It's quite a rhetorical question. So they both now enable self-service, and in doing so have actually saved huge amounts of costs to their business. This is what consumers and businesses want today. They want to be able to serve themselves. So Airborne, hugely complex products. They've got engineers purchasing different parts to build space stations. Laura Ashley, you shop on there to build your sofa. You choose your fabrics. Very, very similar use cases. complexity is obviously very different, but the results are the same. They're enabling self-service, they're giving the consumers what they're after, and in doing so, they're improving the customer experience. And the next thing is the end of ownership. Consumption goes beyond just self-service. We're actually now moving into a subscription model. How many of you are using Netflix or Amazon Prime, Spotify? Most of us today are using subscription services. But you know what? It goes beyond using subscription services as consumers. Most businesses now have the opportunity to think about a subscription model. We're working with many customers who are creating large machinery for healthcare, for example, MRI machines. MRI machines are no longer owned by the hospitals. They are actually being rented out on subscription models. And as part of that, you get the maintenance and all of the spare parts and everything included. And moving on from just a typical rental model within the car industry, Mercedes-Benz is now offering you to be able to, as part of, it's gone beyond hire purchase. You can actually take whichever car you want at any moment in time. They will come and drop it off to you. So if you've got the kids for the weekend and you need a bigger car, they'll come and drop that off to you, and then they'll come and take it away and leave you with a nice sporty number to get you to work during the week. Not only that, they'll cover your insurance. They'll make sure that you have petrol. They'll make sure that the cars are fully maintained. So you don't have to do anything anymore. This is where the subscription model is going. This is very, very cool. And customers are willing to pay more. We pay for these subscription services. We pay more to Amazon Prime in order to get these customer services. We're willing to do so. Customers are willing to pay more for CX. So the last one here is the shift to predictive and automated services. And this is another really, really cool case study. So Denon, for those of you that aren't familiar, they provide speakers. So you can set up a network of speakers throughout your home. You can connect them all up on a network via their system. So they saw that they had some customers going on, and they'd network up a speaker for the living room, and they'd call it living room. They'd network one up for their bedroom, call it bedroom. They'd network them up for the bathroom and call them bathroom. Can you see where this is going? Now, Denon speakers actually have sensors in them, so they're able to predict when things are going wrong. They noticed that they had a lot of speakers going wrong in bathrooms. Yes, they are not waterproof, these speakers. They should not be in bathrooms. But Denon was able to notice that before the customer's speakers started to go wrong, and preempting that the speakers were going to go wrong, they sent out new speakers to every customer that had listed a speaker for their bathroom. This is preemptive service. This is getting ahead of any customer issues and making sure that they don't actually have to come to you. This is the experience economy, and this is very much where things are going today. CX is really a race against time. You've seen businesses are already making changes. They're already doing things out there in the market. They're already differentiating. So if we're not all differentiating and if we're not all racing, then we're going to get left behind. And the experience economy is really the way that it's going. I know it's not easy to get there. It's a bit of a tightrope walk, but it's a very important journey to go on. And with that, I thank you very much for your time. And if you have any questions as well.